The sound of a breaking heart is not always loud. Sometimes it's the soft gasp of a man realizing he just destroyed the one thing he can't afford to replace. The bucket slipped from his trembling hands, cold water spreading across the polished office floor like a cruel wave of fate. His eyes widened in horror as it reached the corner of a sleek silver laptop. The CEO's laptop. For a few seconds, the world stopped spinning. The air in the room grew thick, heavy, unforgiving. The man, Ethan Ward, a single father and part-time cleaner, stood frozen, clutching a rag that was already soaked with years of exhaustion, sacrifice, and silent prayers. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, then please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Let's keep spreading stories that remind us of the good still left in this world. Ethan had been working as a night cleaner at the prestigious Luminex corporate tower for 6 months. Every night after tucking his 8-year-old daughter, Clara, into bed at their small rented room, he would head to the skyscraper downtown. His life was a quiet rhythm of sacrifice and survival, a routine that demanded everything but gave very little back. Clara was the light of his world, her laughter the only melody strong enough to drown the ache of what he had lost. His wife, Mia, had passed away 3 years earlier from a sudden illness, leaving behind a promise. Ethan whispered to her bedside that night, "I'll take care of her, no matter what." That promise had kept him alive through long nights, empty cupboards, and the sting of humiliation. Once he had dreams, a degree in computer engineering, ambitions of a career in tech, but they had been buried under bills, grief, and the constant struggle to provide. His days were spent helping Clara with homework, his nights cleaning offices where people like the man he used to be once sat. On that particular morning, the sun spilled softly through the glass windows of the 38th floor, glinting off the spotless marble. Ethan had stayed late to finish mopping the executive lounge, where the new CEO had just arrived from overseas. A woman known for her discipline, precision, and intolerance for mistakes. Her name was Aria Lennox, a 35-year-old visionary who had built her career through sheer grit. Her employees described her as brilliant, intimidating, and relentless. She demanded perfection, and for someone like Ethan, perfection was always just out of reach. He was wiping the corner table when he heard footsteps behind him. Aria's heels clicked sharply on the floor. She wasn't supposed to be in yet, but there she was, tall and poised, dressed in a pale gray suit that reflected authority in every stitch. Her expression was unreadable as she reached for her coffee and walked toward her desk. Ethan bowed his head slightly, trying not to make eye contact. But then it happened. His elbow caught the edge of the mop bucket, sending it tumbling. Water splashed across the floor, pooling toward her desk. In one horrifying instant, the water reached the open laptop resting there. Ethan dropped to his knees instantly, heart pounding as he tried to wipe the spreading water. "Oh no, no, no," his voice cracked. The screen flickered once, then went black. Aria froze, her jaw tightened, and the air around her seemed to shift. She didn't shout, but the silence was far worse. Her eyes, sharp and focused, met his trembling hands. "Do you realize what you've done?" she asked quietly. Ethan could barely breathe. His lips trembled as he tried to speak. I'm so sorry, Mum. I'll pay for it, I'll pay for it," she repeated softly with a faint disbelief. "Do you even know how much this data was worth?" Her voice was cold but not cruel. It was the voice of someone who had been let down too many times. Ethan's chest tightened. He wanted to vanish, to undo the moment, to somehow trade the water for his tears. He was about to beg again when, unexpectedly, the laptop beeped faintly. The water hadn't fully destroyed it. The screen came back on for a second, dim and flickering. And that's when Aria saw it. It wasn't spreadsheets, company plans, or files. It was a folder named Clara's Dreams. The desktop background was a photo, Ethan and his daughter, sitting on a park bench, their faces lit by morning light. Clara's small hands held a paper airplane, and Ethan's arm was wrapped around her protectively. For a moment, Aria forgot about the water. She forgot about the laptop. Her expression softened as curiosity replaced frustration. Without realizing, she whispered, "Who's Clara?" Ethan froze again, his cheeks burning. He hadn't meant for anyone to see that. The folder was his personal world, a collection of digital sketches, designs, and code prototypes he'd been building quietly during his breaks, hoping that one day, if luck allowed, he could finish a project and start a small company for Clara's future. He had named the app after her, Clara's Dreams. a learning platform designed to teach kids science through stories and games. "She's my daughter," Ethan said quietly. "I've been working on something for her. I know I'm just a cleaner now, but I used to be a programmer." Arya looked at the flickering screen again, where half-loaded lines of code appeared. She saw precision, creativity, and love in those few fragments. It wasn't just data, it was a father's heart written in code. "You built this?" she asked, her tone changing slightly. He nodded, ashamed. "Just bits and pieces. I can't afford the tools to finish it." The silence that followed was unlike before. It wasn't heavy, it was contemplative. Arya watched him mop up the water again, but this time she saw more than a cleaner. She saw a man fighting against the current of life with everything he had. Later that day, she called in the IT department to recover the laptop data. While they worked, she couldn't get Ethan's words out of her mind. That night, long after everyone had gone home, she opened the restored files. Inside the folder, she found sketches, small notes written in messy handwriting, for Clara's future. "Make it fun to learn. Never give up." And one video file. She clicked it. The video showed Clara sitting at a small table, smiling at the camera. "Daddy, one day, when I grow up, I want to help you finish our project." "You're the best daddy in the world." Her laughter filled the office. Arya blinked back tears. She hadn't cried in years. The next morning, Ethan arrived expecting to be fired. His shoulders were slumped, his uniform still damp from washing. But when he entered the CEO's office, Arya wasn't angry. She was holding a printed proposal draft. "Mr. Ward," she said, her voice steady, "I saw your project. It's remarkable, and I think it has potential." Ethan stared at her, stunned. You're not firing me." Arya shook her head. "I don't believe in punishing people for accidents, especially those who are trying to build something meaningful. I want you to join our development team. We'll help you finish Clara's dreams." For a moment, Ethan couldn't speak. His eyes filled with disbelief, gratitude, and a flood of emotion he had kept buried for years. He blinked hard, trying not to cry in front of her. "I don't know what to say." "Say yes," she smiled faintly. "And make your daughter proud." A month passed. The once invisible cleaner became the quiet force behind one of Luminex's most heartfelt projects. With Arya's support, Ethan's app was completed and launched globally. It was simple, beautiful, and designed to make children dream bigger, a reflection of the love between a father and daughter. The day it launched, Ethan took Clara to the office for the first time. She ran through the hallways, her laughter echoing against glass walls. Arya watched them from her office window, smiling softly. She had spent years building her empire, believing success was about control and perfection. But that one mistake, one bucket of spilled water, had reminded her what truly mattered: human connection, kindness, and belief in others. When the first batch of downloads hit 1 million, Arya called Ethan into her office again. "Congratulations," she said warmly. "You did it." He smiled, still humble, still in awe. "We did it, ma'am." Then he hesitated. "You know, if it wasn't for that accident." She interrupted with a knowing look. "Sometimes, life spills a little water to show us what's really on the screen." The words hung in the air, soft and true. They both laughed quietly, a rare and beautiful sound in a place once ruled by silence. Ethan walked out that day holding Clara's hand, sunlight reflecting off the glass like blessings he never expected. Life wasn't easy, but it was finally fair. For once, the world had given him back more than it had taken away.